Hello, hello, happy Wednesday. Good evening, my friends. I am so glad that you are here with me. I'm back in Minnesota. Can you even believe it? It has been 11 weeks. It was 11 weeks of me being in Florida. And let me tell you, it has been absolute and utter chaos trying to get things back in order here. Oh my goodness. There has been no exercising, there has been no tracking, and it has just been constantly doing things trying to get this house reset. And I swear to you, I will be doing it for the rest of the week and into the weekend before I feel like the house is reset. And that's okay. That's okay. But it just feels like I feel kind of like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm very energized and also extremely exhausted. And it's been crazy. It has been crazy. So that's who you're here with today. Is somebody who's kind of like, wah, but we're going to have fun. We're going to hang out, have an hour of chit chatting back in my office with the new camera. We got a decent thing going. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. Let's see who's here. If I keep looking down, this is where I'm looking at the chat. Paulette is here. Hello, hello. And Lauren is here. Lissa's here. Kim is here. It is so good to see you, my friends. I'm so glad that you are here. Oofta. What to talk about this evening? Oh my goodness gracious. It has been crazy. So first, let me start with I guess we can start with highs and lows. Let's start with highs and lows because, that's what we do. So share your highs and lows. For those of you that are watching one of my live streams for the first time, this is the opportunity that the community has to share their celebrations, their wins from the last week, their highs. It doesn't have to be a win. You didn't have to do something. Maybe something awesome happened to you or whatever the highlight of your week has been. There is no celebration too small, as I always say. And then on the flip side, if you have a struggle, a low, the worst thing that happened to you this week, feel free to share those things as well. My high is, of course, we got home. We got home in one piece. Praise the Lord, we got home in one piece. And my low was probably the anxiety that traveling home caused me. Because I am, if you don't know, I am an avid weather watcher. I check the weather every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. I'm an avid weather watcher, especially in the winter or when I am going to be on the road. Why? Because years ago, 2011, right before I met my husband in person for the first time. We had started talking. It was between when we started talking and when we met in person for the first time. I got into a really bad, can you call it an accident? It was an accident. I was driving home from Wisconsin at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was at a sorority event. It was a lot of fun. No alcohol, no nothing like that. But as I was getting off the highway, it was a torrential downpour, a downpour unlike anything I have ever witnessed in my life. And it was, so you couldn't see in front of you. Like it was bad. That was, anxiety provoking in and of itself. Long story short, took the route that I took home a million bajillion times. And it was an underpass, right? And the car in front of me went through the underpass. So I didn't even think for a second that my teeny tiny car was going to be met with too much water for the car to drive through. And so I essentially got stuck in torrential downpour water. And by the time the police, I had to wake up my family at 2 o'clock in the morning, being like, help, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Can you call the police? Blah, 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 blah. So my mom was on the phone with the police. My sister was on the phone with me trying to talk me off of ledge, which I've never had to be talked down off of before. Maybe that instance was probably the start of all of my anxiety problems that day. Now that I think about it, if there had to be one thing, it was that traumatic event that set in motion the current anxiety problems that I have. That's my guess. Police had to come. My car, by the time I got out of my car, and for me, you have to remember with the disability, like automatically you want to go get out of your car because you don't want to get stuck in the car if the car gets fully submerged, right? For me, if I get out of the car and the water's rushing, I can't stand up in the water, right? All that to say, wildly traumatic experience. If the police hadn't come, Lord only knows what would have happened to me. I'm terrified of driving in the rain. Terrified of driving in the rain. We had to drive through this band of storms in northern Florida and the entirety of Georgia that was just green and dark green and yellow and red. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, we have to drive through this. We can't drive through this. The anxiety that I had. We delayed just a little bit, and we ended up, what did we do? Instead of driving as far as we planned on driving the first night that we got together with friends, we drove just a little bit. And then we had an epic day of driving the next day, but we still drove through rain the entire day. Thank God for my husband. And thank God that he was watching, because it was not ever as bad of a downpour as the radar made it seem that it was going to be. So if you were one of the people that was praying for us while we were on the road, thank you. Because so even though it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, the anxiety level that I had for days going up to it, and then of course going through it, and then of course the come down from all of that anxiety, and then to be met with, it was a lot. It was a lot. And it's no wonder that I'm waking up completely exhausted, but also energized because I want to do things. It was quite the adventure. So that was my low, the sheer anxiety of it all. But my high is, of course, getting home. I'm glad to be home. And the good Lord smiled. And I had to do all of my errands, although I've been running errands like a crazy person today too. But Monday was grocery day, of course. We had the most beautiful day in Minnesota. It was the most lovely welcome home from my state that I could have possibly gotten. It was 37 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. So much so that I just wore a sweatshirt out to run errands and not a jacket. And I got, all the roads were dry. Everything was amazing. And so that was a high too, being home. But that first day back, I was like, Minnesota, you got it going on. And then of course it was torrential downpours yesterday. And then today was winter weather advisory or road advisory for ice because the rain froze over, whatever. All that to say, those are my highs and my lows. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Good week all around. Glad to hear it, Paulette. Kind of 2 and 1 high and low this week. Low would have been that I had a bit of food dieting, anxiety spiral last night, and blowing through a ton of weeklies and planning a meal that didn't fit together within my daily budget. But I managed to turn things around and stop the spiral. Always good to be able to turn things around and stop the spiral. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. I split the remaining meal prep meals and have added some extra veggies. Yep. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah. When you're meal planning, and especially when you're trying to sit in points and whatnot, make sure that the math for all of the meals you're prepping, if you're planning on having them all in one day, add up to what you need them to add up to be. That is what's important. But good for you for figuring out what to do instead of just simply throwing in the towel, because that would not have been fun. So, or necessary, quite frankly. Very good. Very good. So what should we talk about this evening, y'all? I do have one question, and it is, of course, from my girl Kim, because she always submits a question and it makes me so happy. But I only have one question tonight. Some weeks you guys bombard me with questions, and other weeks there are no questions. But Kim says, hang on, let me remove the highs and lows banner. There we go. Kim's question is, I decided to up my steps to 10,000. Yay, that's so good. I'm so proud of you. I feel like I'm constantly go, go, go to hit that. Is that the point? So let's chit chat about your step goals for a minute. First of all, yeah, that is kind of the point. The point of the step goal, ultimately, the point of NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the whole concept of why that's healthy and why that's necessary is because your body needs to be in motion. The sedentary lifestyle is what we're trying to avoid, right? Health-wise, it is not good for your body to be in a seated or reclined or laying to be immobile for extended periods of times. Health-wise, that's not cool, right? Anaya, hello, Anaya. Is she watching? Hi, Anaya. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. Thank you for watching. I love when little ones pop in. Sometimes Alice will watch too, and then she, of course, talks to the TV and is confused as to why I'm not speaking with her directly. But the whole point of the purpose of having a step goal is, way back when we were hunters, we were gatherers, we were all working with our hands to get jobs done. When we were walking places, we moved a lot more as a species, right? Constantly in motion. Think of the animals constantly in motion, right? Spending more of the time when they're not sleeping, they're typically moving, right? Because of that, oh, that's so sweet, Paulette. Tell her thank you. Or I can say thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. So we, in this technological age, we're lazy. We are lazy, and we all know it. I'm lazy. There's a very small subset of people to whom constant movement comes naturally. I'm not part of that subset of people. Granted, I have a disability, so I kind of maybe have an excuse, but also I think of my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law cannot sit still for an extended period of time. She is always doing something active. She is always doing something that involves her body. Her recreation right now in Utah is to go skiing for an hour. She literally is always doing something. There is a reason that girl is fit and weighs 115 pounds without trying. She is fit, she is healthy, she eats well, and she constantly moves. Constantly moves. So there's that. My point being, yes, when you have a 10,000 step goal. Now, let me be completely transparent. Studies are starting to show that the benefit to the body that we presume that when we set the 10,000 steps as the guideline actually can be achieved with 7,000 to 8,000 steps. So if you can't get to 10,000 steps, striving for at least 7,000 to 8,000 is gold. But I love the roundness of the number of 10,000. I love 10,000 because it feels like it pushes you, and Kim, I bet you noticed this, it pushes you just hard enough where you have to think about moving. You can't remain sedentary for too long, right? And yes, that is absolutely the point, because you want to keep your body in motion. That being said, a couple of tips for how to make sure you get those. Well, one primary tip for how to get those steps in is, much like your protein goal, you got to front load some steps in the morning. That is the easiest way to make sure that you get your steps in. If you have a walking pad, a treadmill, an elliptical, a decent situation outside right now, walking for just 10 or 20 minutes in the morning is going to rack up a couple thousand steps. So the rest of the day feels easier and much more attainable than if you spend from when you wake up until noon completely sedentary, and then you're like, oh crap, I have to go do all of my stepping now. It's going to feel a lot harder to achieve, right? So definitely try front loading some steps in the morning. It doesn't have to be a lot. Like I said, 10 to 20 minutes, just a little stroll. If you can get outside, there's the whole study of, get outside and get sunlight first thing in the morning. A walk in the sunlight can go hand in hand as long as weather is permitting, of course. And it's a great way to start the day. It's a great way to start the day. But yes, constantly feeling like you have to move, or feeling like you have to move a little bit extra, is exactly the point of a 10,000 step goal. But it will help you with your activity and your calorie burn and your NEAT and all of the things. How is the weather in Minnesota? It is cold, but it is not as bad as it could be. Like I said, Monday was an absolutely stunningly glorious day. Stunningly glorious. I went to the first store. I went to 3 stores on Monday. And it was Sam's Club. I re-upped my Sam's Club membership, Costco for a couple things that weren't at Sam's Club, and then to Target. Actually, I went to Target first because my husband needed his lunch meat before lunch. And y'all, let me tell you, Let me tell you, day in the life of somebody with a chronic disability. Do you have any idea how energy draining, how much more energy draining it is for me to go grocery shopping in the winter than in the summer? It is astronomical. The struggle that I had, usually, you go into the store, you wear in your coat and you get your stuff and you go. My coat, between the coat and the sweatshirt I had on under it, do you know how hard it was for me? I couldn't reach a couple of things that I needed to reach on the top shelves. I have a hard time with that to begin with. Finally, in the middle of Target, I said, screw it. And I took my coat off because I needed to be able to move. And I was like, I came home and I'm just like, winter is hard. Winter is very hard. And I'm still praising for the day, right? I was praising for the day because the day was amazing and beautiful. But shopping in the winter is so hard. It's so hard for me, because I thrive in Florida because I can be in shorts, which doesn't have but a little bit of fabric. What is it, like 5 or 6 inch inseams? Restricting any movement in my legs or adding extra weight to my legs, and my clothes don't add any extra weight to my upper half. It's golden. When you're here, you pile the stuff on, and the more stuff you pile on, the harder it is for me to move, and the more energy it takes for me to move. So I'm so thankful for that beautiful, amazing, wonderful day that we had on Monday. And so the weather has been variable. Yesterday it rained all day, but it wasn't snow. And then it kind of faded into a wintry mix. And now we're getting ready for a little bit of cold. Like, cold is all relative, right? For us people in Florida, the 37-degree day that we had on Monday that I was running around without a jacket on by the end of my shopping trip, people don't even think about, or people in Florida are like, oh my gosh, are you out of your mind? Whereas Minnesotans are like, hey, it's beautiful outside. We don't need to wear a coat, right? Currently it is 18 degrees. The high says it was 37 today, but the actual high didn't get much higher than 25. It's variable. We're getting down into single digits most nights overnight, but we don't have any single digit highs while I'm home yet. So I'm going to take that as a win. Haven't been looking at my steps for a while, averaging 11,000 over the past month. That's excellent. You're welcome, Kim. Happy to help. Mid 60s. Ugh, y'all. It was 80s down in Florida where my in-laws are. The Clio bars were calling me. Yes, the Clio bars. So I got a couple of really exciting things at Sam's Club on Monday. One of which, if you saw my Instagram, was the Clio bars. Clio bars are those Greek yogurt bars that look like candy bars. They're chocolate covered, and they're very, very good. They're very good. They have several different versions. They have a 0 sugar or a low sugar option. They're fine. They taste good. I don't like them because the sugar substitute they use, I believe, is erythritol. And so I kind of tried to avoid that. But the original ones, the regular size bars, are 140 calories, 8 grams of protein. You got fat in there. They are so good, you guys. If you need just like a little something, something, but if you need a littler something, something, they make mini ones that are literally like 2 bites or 1 bite. You can like suck them in your mouth. So I have no idea what that sound was. Like a ringing sound. I'm sure you guys heard it too. And something was clinking. That's concerning. Anyway, they're very good. They come in minis. And when you go to Sam's Club, you can they have the regular size bars in a big box that's like vanilla and strawberry, both very, very good. And now they have little ones in cherry and raspberry, and you get like 20 of them in the box, 10 of each flavor, and they're both delicious. And I was pleased as punch with this different food choice that I had of a product that I already really enjoyed. And then I should have brought it upstairs, and I did not. I got the Peeps Easter extravaganza pack of Peep things. Why? Because in this box that costs like $12 and has like, I don't know, a bunch of different things in there, which is great because we know I'm going to buy Peeps anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So it's not like it was wasted because I purchased the thing for one thing, and that was the chocolate covered Peeps. The individually packaged, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. The individually packaged in a yellow package with like the chocolate bird on the front, and they are single serve chocolate covered Peeps marshmallows. And they're different than like actual Peeps. It's probably the same core marshmallow, but they're not like covered in sugar. They're covered in chocolate. I Loved those things. I loved them mostly because they tasted good, but they were also only 3 points on the Points Plus plan. So I felt like I was getting a very generously sized treat for only 3 points. It was a really epic dessert for the Easter season. And in the last 2 years, I have not been able to find them. I've not been able to find them anywhere. And it makes me sad because I used to always be able to get them at Target. That is for years where I bought them. You go to the Easter section and they sold them individually and they were like a buck a piece, which one could argue that that's not an awesome price, but I paid the buck a piece because I loved them. And they were a great dessert. And I have not been able to find them. There's 4 of them in this box, which is exclusively why I paid the $12 for the entire box of Peep things. We'll eat the Peep things. I'll punch holes in them, and then, 3 or 4 weeks after I punch holes in them, I'll eat them. But I was so excited to see the chocolate covered Peeps in the box that I had to have it. I had to have it. Oh my goodness. You do not like Peeps. I know it is a very controversial topic. It is one of the most controversial topics that I have. But yes, I love Peeps, but I love stale Peeps. I'll eat regular, completely moist and fluffy Peeps, but I love them after they've been sitting out open for 2 or 3 weeks and they get kind of chewy like taffy. Oh, I love them. I don't eat them any other time of the year than Easter time. That's my Easter candy. But man, oh man. Do you know what Easter candy I miss? It's a little too early to be talking about Easter, but we're going to talk about it. There used to be, and I have on my old Instagram account, I think it was my old Instagram account, or maybe it was my new one. I don't new being Diva and the Divine. I had a different Instagram account before I was Diva and the Divine. And it's still up. But I used to go, and they were by Russell Stover, and they were these individual eggs. So you know how you get like the Russell Stover, like the marshmallow eggs or the marshmallow caramel eggs? They had these eggs that were coated in chocolate. They were like thicker chocolate, and they had flavored fillings on the inside. Caramel, wedding cake, carrot cake, vanilla, all of these different flavors. And I could only find them at Walmart, and I loved them. I loved them. And at the time, they were 4 or 5 points plus for one of these things. I don't remember how many calories because I wasn't tracking calories at the time, but I loved them. I bought the bunch of them, and then I would go over. Hi, Rosie. I would go over the day after Easter and buy out the stock of the chocolate covered Peeps and these Russell Stover eggs and the flavors that I make that I like. And I can't find those anywhere anymore either. Do they still exist, y'all? Did I just miss them because I didn't go to Walgreens this past year? Like, you would think that Target would have everything, but alas, it does not. They still have them. So do they still have like the wedding cake ones? The wedding cake one is the one I missed. I know they have the marshmallow caramel ones, and they have a couple of like their core collection, but these flavors were a little bit more out there. And the wedding cake one is the one that I remember the most. It was kind of like that artificial almond flavor. I loved it. I loved it. And I haven't seen it in years, and it makes me so sad. Speaking of Russell Stover, when we were driving, we pulled off to get gas at this town. Don't remember the town, but for the first time in my life, I saw a standalone Russell Stover store. I did not know those existed. But it was literally its own little shop right there on the road, Russell Stover. I was like, if we didn't have a dog with us and we didn't have an agenda to get home, I would have said we should stop and see what the actual Russell Stover store has. I didn't know that they existed. I just thought that they were an entity that ended up in our regular grocery stores. I didn't realize that they had standalone shops. Fun fact. Looked for the Peeps and the oatmeal. My store had neither. That's a bummer. You would send them to me. That's what you would do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The chocolate Peeps are divine. Yes. I don't know why they're so good. Also, completely almost the same topic, but completely different topic, because I had this thought on Monday night. Y'all, is there something in existence that is a higher quality M&M? And here's why I ask. I don't know if my taste buds are changing. I don't know if I have just become bougie as all get out. High quality, luxury, diva princess over here. But we were out of food when we got home. And I was a very, very good girl. and only brought home those two, the Clio bars and the Peeps. Today, while I was at Cub Foods, because I couldn't find rice vinegar anywhere that I had been, I did buy, Cub Foods has those more stuff, the double stuff Oreo thins. I bought some of those because they were on sale and we needed some sort of like little dessert in the house. But I only bought like those two primary main sweet things, right? And so after dinner on Monday night, I was looking around for like, what am I supposed to have for dessert? I don't want ice cream. My husband will eat ice cream. I didn't want ice cream. I found the remnants of my mini M&Ms. It was like, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon and a half of mini M&Ms. So I picked them up and I ate them. And as I was eating them, the thought occurred to me that the quality of chocolate just does not feel or taste as delightful as I remember them tasting. Has all of the mainstream candy just gone downhill in quality? Kit Kat bars aren't as good to me anymore as they used to be. M&Ms evidently aren't as good to me anymore as they used to be, at least the mini ones. And I don't know if it was because they were old or what it was, but it made me go, I love M&Ms. I do. I love the candy coated M&Ms. I love the candy coated, like the Cadbury eggs. So I'm going to get me some of those because they're out now. But like, it made me think, is there like a higher end, more luxurious version of the M&M? Because I'd like the concept of the M&M, but if the quality of the chocolate of the M&M is starting to go to crap, I don't want to eat actual M&Ms anymore. Also, I could just be crazy. I don't know. We ate way too many, made ourselves sick. Ooh, that's not good. No good. No good. Not the Peeps, though. Rosie is also anti-Peep. I can't find the chocolate chip Peeps. The closest I can find is the Peep Delights. And those are not the same. Those are not at all the same. And I'm not yelling at you, Kim. I'm being very enthusiastic about the fact that, yes, you're right. They have the Delights. And I'll be honest, I haven't eaten them in a long time. I might have some of the Delights in the package that I bought. I don't remember. And I'm sure they're fine. Maybe I should give those a try this year if I can't get my hands on the other ones. But I loved the other ones. Now, the reality is I probably could go buy the Russell Stover eggs and have the same effect now that I think about it. But there's just something about the OG, Maple fudge. Oh, yum. Oh, that sounds absolutely delightful. Yes, it's yummy. I miss clearance holiday candy. Growing up, we got our Easter candy a day late. Yes. Yes. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. As kids, though, you don't have refined taste. I know. And like even as a late 20 something, apparently I didn't have refined taste because I thought Kit Kat bars were the bomb. Like, and I loved my mainstream candy. But man, nowadays I'm like, is Lent my new like mainstream candy? Because I buy Choni's Chocolonely. Like when I buy myself chocolate now, I'm buying like nicer chocolate. And have I just ruined the mainstream chocolate for myself? It's entirely possible that I have. It's entirely possible. Unreal has their M&Ms, but I'm not sure about their quality. Yes, I literally Googled higher quality M&M and Unreal popped up, and I've never tried them before, so I don't know. Their little almond joy things, their chocolate covered coconut things are good, but I've never had their gems. I usually have to throw my candy out before. Oh, let's talk about throwing things out. Do you know how much stuff I have decluttered from my house already? And it's just like expired things that like I probably should have gotten rid of before we left and just didn't. But I am in, but like, especially since tonight is garbage night, I just, for whatever reason, like the tasks of like finish the unpacking and the declutter, or like the tidying and the actual cleaning. I haven't actually done like any cleaning, dusting, vacuuming. I haven't done any of that yet. But I have gone through my kitchen cabinets and gotten rid of protein bars that expired in early 2022. I've gotten rid of, I have these, which is hilarious. Do you guys remember that kombucha company, Kula, that has like the tablets? I just became an affiliate of theirs. I have a huge order of their stuff coming, which is great. But I had some stuff already and I was like, I'm going to have a Kula tab today. And I plopped that sucker into the water and it did nothing. So I looked at the expiration date and expired of May of 2022. So fun fact, when I start talking about this kombucha company in the future, if it has an expiration date on it, use it by the expiration date or it's not going to work because it's actually like a fresher substance. So I decluttered all of those. I had 3 boxes of those lying around. I got rid of so much. I got rid of my planner from last year. Things are leaving this house. Things are leaving my office. Things are leaving this house. And you know what? I have 0 regrets about it. 0 regrets about, I was like, I just want to kind of start fresh with everything. I'm very much in a start fresh mode, which is nice. And it's fun. From the 70s are on Amazon. Well, now we gotta look on Amazon. Although I don't know, do you trust food? Russell's? Are you supposed to trust food that comes from Amazon? Russell Stover. Let me see if they have wedding cake. Russell Stover wedding cake. They do not have Russell Stover wedding cake on here. But the Russell Stover website didn't even have the wedding cake. Oh, I loved those stupid wedding cake eggs. If anybody finds those, please tell me. Please tell me, because I loved those stupid things and I just can't get them anymore. They were so good. Easter, if you haven't figured it out, is my favorite candy season. So it's a coming. It's a coming. But on the flip side, also Lent starts next week and I have no idea what I'm doing for Lent. I can't decide what I want to do. I really can't decide. I do have the She Reads Truth Lent Bible study coming. So I do plan on making sure I'm very diligent about my quiet time with God in the morning and doing Bible study and stuff. Yes to food on Amazon, no to food from the 70s. Hey man, there's some stuff that was much higher quality in the 70s than it was now. Like, not like if it was made in the 70s, but like the quality of the food in the 70s, you know? I want to hear. Tell me more, Rosie, about the challenge. I'm trying to decide if I do like, because part of me wants to like do a reread of Made to Crave again, like I did 2 years ago, I think that was. Oh, can I zoom in so I can, hang on. Beautiful. Now I can lean back. But I'm thinking about doing like that, or I'm also thinking about like, do I go back and listen to the Daniel plan again and maybe be a little bit more diligent about implementing stuff from the Daniel plan as part of my Lenten thing? Is there something in particular that I just need to give up? But I'm also very good, being actually really, really good at controlling myself right now. Like I have had a no track. I have not been tracking. My diet starts Monday. Actually, I don't know when it starts. I'm giving myself the 27th is going to be like my new year. Happy New Year to me is Monday, the 27th. But this week I decided I was not going to be tracking. And wouldn't you know it, I still have been stepping on the scale and I am now, granted, I changed scales, but I'm down after road tripping. Y'all, at Arby's, I started looking at nutrition information for Arby's food. And you know what I ordered instead of the sandwich that I normally order, like the market pantry sandwich or whatever it's called. And then I graduated to the crispy chicken sandwich because it was actually fewer calories. I ordered an order of 5-piece chicken tender, fried chicken tenders. Because you know what? Those fried chicken tenders have 39 grams of protein in them. And it was great. I had, hi, Lori, good to see you. So I'm eating food on the road, sub sandwiches, whatever, but I hadn't been hungry. Like I haven't been snacking. I was not snacking in the car hardly at all. From my weigh-in, when was my weigh-in? I want to be accurate here. Where's my logbook? From last Wednesday. Oh, this is great. From last Wednesday to this Wednesday, I am down 2.7 pounds. And that was no tracking. That was road trip for 3 days, eating out for a bunch of meals, no exercising. And I'm down almost 3 pounds. I got on the scale this morning and I was like, I don't even know, but I'm liking how this is going. I'm just listening to my body. All that to say, I've been feeling very in control of myself, not eating when I'm not hungry, finding other things to do. And like last night, and this was after last night, we had sushi for Valentine's Day. It was a very low key Valentine's Day. We ordered sushi, and then I went to Len's Byerly's, our fancy grocery store, and we each got a Death by Chocolate cake. And I ate half of my little chocolate cake. It was like 350 calories ish for the half of the cake. And my weigh-in was still stellar this morning. And so I'm just like, I'm feeling pretty good. So like my point is I don't feel compelled to need to give any of that stuff up right now. Like it's not controlling me. It's not an idol to me. It's not something that I feel the need to let go of. So then my question is, what the heck am I what do I let go of? What do I do? Because I haven't last year Lent was more about adding things in, and I want to add things in again this year as well. But I don't know. I have to mull it over. I have to pray about it. I have to pray about it. What is the thing that's going to get put on my heart to do for Lent? But I do have the Lenten Bible study coming. And I like that, Rosie. And see, what's funny that you said that is that just something like that just popped into my mind too. I was like, what can I do to advance the not using of my cell phone? How can I do that? What can I do about that? Because this is really my idol right here. This is my idol. And it's hard when you run a business that like I'm supposed to be on social media and doing things. Not that I've been sharing anything this week, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I feel like it's going to have something to do with the phone and actually have nothing to do with my food. And it's going to have something to do. So the thing that I'm going to add in for surezies, because by the time my diet starts, so maybe my diet starts on next Wednesday. Or my adherence to my plan start, and the goal is adherence to the plan, adherence to the workout, adherence to the discipline, enlisting the discipline of the habits I want to cultivate, because they are some sacrificial habits. I don't always get to eat all of the things that I want. And I'm not always going to want to work out, but I need to work out. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking, something like that. I don't know. I'm open to ideas, and I see some of them rolling in, but I'm open to ideas. And people on the replay, if you have ideas, thoughts, let me hear them. We got a week. I've got a week. I mean, you can do whatever you want for Lent, but I have a week to figure out what the heck I want to do for Lent. But I want to really spend this season, like, because it's my new year. It all coincides all at once, right? It's my new year. It's my my start of my consistency in my diet. It's buckling down and taking things seriously, right? Like it's officially go time. And it coincides well with Lent. And I think that I need to use that to really make sure I get my head on straight, I am wanting to do longer Bible studies. What do you mean by longer? Whoppers, Robin eggs. That's one of my mother-in-law's favorites, actually, Kathy. 1 to 3 goals. Add something, remove something, and do something for others. Well, I like that. Make a tracker and have daily and weekly check-ins on Clubhouse. Have you found a Lenten Clubhouse, or are you just using the goals and Clubhouse and just happens to be with Lent? Thank you, Pamela. So no games. This is your things. So no games, Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse during work. I like it. Maybe no social media 5 to 9. Yeah, it's such a hard thing. Now, if I could learn to use, like, the problem is, especially with stories, if I want to share something immediately, I have to be able to share it. If I can figure out how to use the story scheduler, then maybe I wouldn't have to. Because like things like today, which of course I completely forgot to share the live stream anyway on Instagram. But normally what I do is like 10 minutes before, I'll post the link to the live stream tonight, right? And I don't know how to do that, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even matter. I don't know. Yes. I was toying around with the idea of no social media on my phone. Yeah. But still have access on my computer, but not my phone. But I'm not deciding on anything yet. Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Anyway, my friends, what do you want to talk about tonight? Ask me anything. And I know there's a delay, so I'm going to let all this process for a minute, but ask me questions. I have no specific plan. I talked about the chaos of my life and decluttering things. The one thing that I'm going to talk about for a hot second, and I'm shocked that nobody's brought it up, but a couple of people on Instagram did send me it yesterday. For those of you that do not know, Dave Hollis passed away on Sunday, of Rachel and Dave Hollis of Hollis Co. Girl Wash Your Face, all that. We don't know what happened. We know he was recently hospitalized with heart issues. And even though I wasn't personally, and a lot of people after their divorce and everything, a lot of people weren't even following them anymore, it was still something shocking to me. It was shocking to me. And I was sad. I spent a lot of yesterday sad about it. Even though it doesn't directly affect me in any way, shape, or form, because Rachel and Dave were part of my life for those couple of years, right? 2 years or so. And so I know, and so there were a lot of people who saw the announcement and started messaging me like, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? Yes, I heard about it. I'm devastated for them. I'm devastated for all of them. I'm devastated for Rachel. And I mean, I know they're not together anymore, but how can that not affect you? How can that not affect you? You loved him for years and years and years and years. You have kids with him. You were co-parenting with him. Devastated for Rachel. Absolutely gutted for their children. Absolutely gutted for their children. And I'm even heartbroken for Heidi Powell, who one could argue whether or not they should have been in a relationship with each other or not, but she loved him. And it's hard all around. All around. So I did see it. I am aware of it. We don't exactly know what happened, but he died too young. He was supposed to be 48 years old yesterday, and he passed away on Sunday. So I'm sad about it, but I know that you guys have heard me talk about them enough that I wanted to make sure that you knew that I knew about it. And now you know about it too, if you didn't know about it. Anyway, in the past, yes. Yeah, the only thing that would prevent me from doing is stories. Please help me not eat late at night. I can't help you. That's not my job. I can't help you. You have to do that. You have to make that change, and you have to make that choice. The way that you stop eating at night is you close the kitchen after dinner. The end. That's it. But then you have to have the discipline to adhere to that, right? And that's always the challenge. And it's there are tips, there are tricks, there are everything, but here's the thing, you have to be willing to do it. And I said this, I had a conversation, I'm going to throw my sister under the bus. Sorry, Dee, I'm going to throw you under the bus. My sister texted me today and she said, I need you to redo my macros. And I go, why do you need me to redo your macros? Reasons, things not working, scales not working, the scale has been going up. I haven't weighed myself in about a month, but the scale was up. She goes, but I'm on my period. And I was like, well, you're on your period, so don't worry about the scale. It's fine. He goes, yeah, but I want to, I have to get my A1C down, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Deanna, have you been tracking your food? And have you been following the macros that I originally gave you? No, not consistently. Then the thing that needs to change is not the macros I gave you. The thing that needs to change is your willingness to do the work to do the macros I gave you. That's why I gave them to you. So I was like, do them consistently for at least 2 weeks. And if you can tell me you've done them consistently for 2 weeks and you see no change, then I will change things for you. But until you do them consistently, it's not on me. The problem is not the numbers I gave you. The problem is you. And she's like, that's fair. Okay. So Paulette, I say the same thing to you. I can't help you. You have to decide that you want to close the kitchen, and then you actually have to do it. Making the decision. It's like hiring a coach. So people will think that hiring the coach is the thing that is going to get them to their goal, but they forget that the coach is just there to tell them how to do the work, and they still have to do the work in order to make the things happen. It's not on the coach to make the things happen. It's your job to make the things happen. So you have to make the choice to close the kitchen. How you don't eat late at night is you close the kitchen after dinner, or for me, I close the kitchen after dessert. So I'm going to go downstairs. When I'm done here, I'm going to have the other half of my cake and I'm done eating. Easy peasy. Um, Oftentimes, if you are a late night snacker and you like to have something to eat, first of all, it is just solid health if you stop eating a couple hours before you go to bed. And I'm not saying like the kitchen has to close at 7 p.m. That's when I choose to I choose to close it sometime between 7 and 8 if at all possible. But like if you're going to bed at 10, it's not a bad idea to stop at 8 to give your body time to digest your food before you lay down to rest. But that being said, if you're somebody who's like, I need to have a nighttime snack, track the snack earlier in the day so it is planned for, and then eat the thing that you are planning for, right? So that's an option as well. Make sure you're eating enough during the day. This is the big thing. Oftentimes, people who tell me I can't stop snacking at night, the reason you can't stop snacking at night is because you're spending the day hoarding all of your calories for the evening, and then you just end up going off the rails and binging. That's not what we do. We have multiple hundreds of calories worth of food for our breakfast. My breakfast today was 400 calories and it was delicious. And then I had a 200-calorie snack, and then I had like a 400-calorie lunch. I'm eyeballing because I'm not actually tracking, but I know I eat so much of the same things. I know roughly what their calorie numbers are. And because of that, I don't feel compelled to overeat at night because I haven't spent the entire day restricting myself, right? That's really important. And that's the first place you have to look. Are you somebody who doesn't eat breakfast? And then are you somebody who eats a little lunch? And then by dinner, you're ravenous and you don't know why. And then after you eat, you can't stop eating. Try eating more in the morning. It'll help. Private invitations, only spaces we can create. It's kind of like audio Zoom. Oh, that's cool. Have you started the remodeling project? No, we've put the remodeling project on hold because prices are utterly atrociously astronomical. We expected a specific budget, and we're like, it was gonna look like it was gonna come in a decent percentage higher than that, and then the final estimate came in way higher than even the highest threshold we were going to go. So we're like, okay, so for now, we are actually just not going to do the remodeling project. So instead, we're going to pivot and we're going to work on smaller projects instead, like getting a fan installed in here and in my husband's office, reorganizing our kitchen, getting things that we need to make the general what already exists even more practical and better and more organized. So we're going to focus our energy there instead of on finishing the basement. And then we're just going to save that money for the down payment on a new house. So that's where we're at right now. If something changes, I'll let y'all know. I think you can do stories, or just you need to go to IG for a question box. Right. Yes, exactly. Yes, I understand that. And it's the little things where I need like the little details. If I want to use music, if I want to use a GIF, if I want to use whatever, then I need to be on Instagram. I'll figure something out. And it might just be like not having the phone in the room with me unless I'm working, or not have, like just like being very, like none of this scrolling. I will delete TikTok for Lent for sure. I will delete TikTok. I have no need to be on there. Y'all, I have ended up on beauty TikTok, and I am both not mad about it at all and also very mad about it because I'm starting to like feel like I did when I was originally like a beauty blogger and beauty YouTuber and was really into makeup products. I end up on beauty TikTok for like a week, and do I already have an Amazon order in? Yeah. For these lip stains that look like wine bottles and are apparently like really, really good lip stains, and they were like $10 for 6 of them. They could be crap. They could be utter crap. I have no idea. But I couldn't help myself because I saw multiple videos of it, and I'm really feeling the lip stain vibe right now of like put it on once, then not really have to worry about your lip color the rest of the day and have it look like kind of natural. It's kind of look I was going for with this, even though I wasn't using a lip stain. I took a red liquid lipstick and I kind of blotted it on and faded it out so it kind of looked like a lip stain. I somehow ended up on beauty TikTok, and I'm not mad about it, but also I need to use up the stuff that I have before I buy a whole bunch of new things or try a bunch of different techniques. But it also made me happy and excited. And like I put in effort on my face today and tried like a new blending technique up here because I saw it on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be really angry about it or not. Have a great night, Lori. Thanks for stopping by. Um, I don't know. Thought you should know. Um, TikTok. That's how I got on that. TikTok. So, oh my gosh, Kim. The reviews. There's now a Winky Lux lip balm stain thing that I want to purchase. There is a I saw just today this blending technique with specific products, and they were not cheap specific products, especially the powder. But so I used what I had to kind of try and recreate it very not crassly, but cheaply, and it still kind of worked. I think. I'm looking at myself in the thing. I think. Um, and all of you have no idea what I actually did, but in my eyes, I can see what I did. And it was like kind of to like blend this area out so the blush didn't seem so blushy without like a blend into the eyes. I don't know. I don't know. It was interesting. But it made me it made me excited. I was like, I want to play with makeup. And I haven't wanted to play with makeup in a long time. And that felt good and fun. So thank you, TikTok, for that. But I think I will definitely give up TikTok for Lent for sure because I need to be doing other things with my time than spending time on social media. And I have been really awful at scrolling lately because I've just been so stressed out and like anxious that it's my disassociative outlet, and it needs to not be. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's all. I think Lent is really going to come down to doing something with that thing. So, and maybe it's just like work hours when I'm intentionally working. So, like on live stream day, my social media time doesn't end until after my live stream or, things like that. But like on a regular day, maybe my social media time is done or like I'm off of social media by 5 o'clock or something. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Pre-tracking your day is where it's at. Game changer. Absolutely. I eat dinner and dessert, and as soon as I feel that the combination of what I last ate and toothpaste won't be too gross, I brush my teeth. Of course, I'm always here to be honest with you. I'm no nonsense. Oh, wait, we looked at that. Your lipstick is good. Thank you. It is the Harry Potter lipstick from ColourPop, the liquid lipstick, and I actually think it is the Harry Potter one. There's Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and this is the Harry Potter one. It's supposed to be a lot darker. But like I said, I blotted it off and whatever, and it's stained pretty good. So I'll take it. I haven't been scrolling TikTok as much lately. I've been spending time listening. Yeah, I need to start a book or something. It's been an off week for me, which is fine. And it's not even an off week. It's been a stressful week. Like I still have so much to do. Although I'm very excited that based on this, I don't have to go through the effort of like hauling my little cart table over here anymore. For this setup, because this is really easy, which I really love. But anyway, man, oh man, it's just been chaos. I love that. I need to figure out when I'm doing my 24-hour break from social media because I haven't planned that yet. I should do that over the weekend, maybe. Maybe I'll do that over the weekend. That sounds good. Sounds like a good precursor to do it over the weekend, maybe on like Sunday, and then use because I'm going back to church on Sunday, and like it's gonna feel. I think that feels right. Maybe I will do my 24 hours social media free this weekend. I need to have the discipline to just like turn off the apps and not do anything about them. That's what I need. Let me tell you what. I pray so often. I'm a big fan of the concepts of the fruits of the spirit, right? The gifts of the Holy Spirit, the fruits of the spirit. And one of them is self-control. And every time I'm not as diligent about praying as I should, but every time I'm in the headspace to talk to God at the beginning of the day, I ask him for help with self-control. And it's one of those things like I need to learn to lean on him a whole lot more. And because that is very clearly the thing I struggle with the most. That's the thing a lot of us struggle with the most, right? But like the thing with self-control, I would not need to lose weight if I didn't struggle with self-control. I would not have a social media addiction if I didn't struggle with self-control. I wouldn't have to tidy my house so often if I had the self-control to put things where they belonged after I finished using them. Like it's it's one of those things like if I could change my wiring about one thing in myself, it would probably be my self-control meter, and turn that up a little bit, make me a little bit less obliger and a little bit more upholder. Because it makes so many things so much easier. It's my little insight into me today. I've also started cutting off social media after. That's a great idea. I think that, and it's hard for me to say stuff like this as one whose business is run on social media. The entirety of my business is run on social media. I onboarded a new client on Tuesday, yesterday, who would not have found me if not for social media. Like she literally searched for me on Insta, or not me specifically, searched for a thing on Instagram, found me, and decided I was the right person to reach out to. My business would not exist without social media. So it's hard for me to say, I think it's best if all of us take a step back from social media. I'm not saying leave it completely, but stop and think about how much we let that perfectly curated, or sometimes imperfectly curated, look at other people's lives dictate what we assume about their entire lives, dictate how we feel about ourselves. I have something that I'm going to share with you guys. I got this as an email today, and it's from our worship team, and it's the Creative Arts newsletter, and so we get some updates and whatever. And the person, one of the newer staff members, wrote the like introspective thing today, and this is what it said, and it spoke to me, and it was supposed to, because it's for the worship team and it's very relevant to the worship team. But I thought maybe that it would speak to some of you too, especially when it comes to comparison in social media. The Bible verse is Isaiah 51:1. It says, "Listen to me, all who hope for deliverance, all who seek the Lord. Consider the rock from which you were cut, the quarry from which you were mined." And then he goes on to say, in this case, Isaiah is using the rock and quarry to represent Abraham and Sarah. God called Abraham, and because of Abraham's obedience to the call, he was blessed with the great nation. What Isaiah is reminding us is, like a stone taken from a quarry, your identity and makeup are the same. You might have a different shape, or you may be weathered differently. However, what is true for one becomes true for all. The master builder quarried you with careful precision, and as sure as stone, his promises are good. I was talking with a few people the other day and said, if you think about it, the devil wants us to compare our lives and calls to others because no matter what, he wins. If we compare and find ourselves better, the devil wins because we build ourselves up and inflate with pride. Luke 18:11. The Pharisee stood by him and prayed this prayer: I thank you, God, that I am not like other people. If we compare and we find ourselves worse, the devil wins because we cut ourselves down, shame ourselves, and ultimately end up doubting the promises of God. Certainly, God couldn't mean me. Look at me. I can't sing like him. I don't look like her, etc. However, we are reminded in 1 Corinthians 15:41, the sun has one kind of splendor, the moon another, and the stars another. And the stars star differs from star in splendor. Consider the rock. The word consider here in the original language means to look at or to behold. By implication, Isaiah is saying, behold this amazing thing with great pleasure. Consider this blessed assurance. Even though your life looks different than another's, your shape, your color, or experiences, consider the quarry you were mined from and remember his promises. And I was just like, wow, that's helpful to me. That's what I needed to hear. And I think it's something important for all of us to hear. Now, granted, it's geared specifically towards people who are getting up on stage and performing and doing all of those things. But at the end of the day, it's the whole, once we start to compare, the devil wins, because either we think we're better than one another and we get all prideful about it, or we start to tear ourselves down. Either way, the devil wins. And so the name of the game, I just realized my computer was not plugged in. Whoops. Either way, it's not good for us. Either way, the devil wins. So comparison, you hear all these quotes, comparison is the thief of joy, blah, 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 blah. And all that to say, oftentimes, not all the times, but oftentimes, or at least sometimes, when we are perusing social media, especially when you end up like me and you are in a disassociative state when you are on social media, and you're just trying to disassociate from whatever it is you have to do. So you're mindlessly scrolling and you're just hopping from one app to another. This is literally how I function regularly, and it is not something I'm proud of, and it's something I'm actively working on. But that's what my brain goes to, is this disassociative thing. You end up in the comparison trap because all you're doing is like craving and watching other people's little curated snippets that they opt to share with the internet, myself included. I don't share everything. Gosh, if I shared everything, if you guys only knew. But I share a lot of things. But there are days that I only share stuff when it's pretty or when it looks good. And then there are days that I will share the not so pretty because maybe someone needs to hear it or whatever the case may be. But it's all curated. Everything anybody shares is curated in some way, shape, or form. So just something to keep in mind as we are thinking about our usage of social media. Let's see. Anything else? But it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Any last minute thoughts on that? This just went a whole mess of different places. Surrounding my goals surrounding social media right now, I'm just making steps towards not using social media as an excuse to hide or disassociate. 100%. Putting my phone away in the morning so I get the morning routine done. Yep, I got to do that too. Oh, my husband remembered to take out the trash. Excellent. Getting distracted by a screen. Yep. Yeah. I relate to that so much, and it's something. That is going to be my primary focus. That and adhering to my plans for my health and embarking on a health journey that is also spiritual, connected with God journey. And if you don't think that those two things are linked together, I urge you to look up Made to Crave by Lisa Turkhurst. It is Lisa Turkhurst that did Made to Crave, right? I can't see the book from over here. I think it's Lisa Turkhurst that did Made to Crave, or The Daniel Plan. I highly recommend both of those books because they're very, very helpful if you are somebody looking for a stronger reason why to embark on a health journey than just I want to lose weight. So there's that. So, all right, friends, I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about 5,000 different subjects. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, as it does help me out. And I will talk to you guys the same time next week from my office in Minnesota. Thank you for hanging out to me. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.